a beautiful audience who has gathered here. I, Mrs. Smita Shetty, and I, Mrs. Daijiworld, would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you present here. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone on this call for allocating time in their busy schedule to attend this NSS Orientation Program.
Before we start, let us first acknowledge the presence of some of our eminent guests. We feel honored to have with us Dr. Satish Chandra, Surveillance Medical Officer, WHO Country Office for India, Mr. Hemacharya, Director Daijiworld, Dr. Savitha Gatty, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Bondel PHC, Dr. Jagadish V, Kamath, Principal, Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore, Mr. Pramod Kumar, HOD, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore, Mr. Baiju Mathews, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore, and Dr. Shehnaaz Parveen, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacy Practice, Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore. I would like to request our Principal, Dr. Jagadish V, Kamath, to kindly escort the dignitaries to the dais.
It is a mark of our undying tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. As Sir said, prayer may just be the most powerful tool mankind has. I would like to call upon Miss Rohini on the dais with the invocation song. Please all raise for me.
ईशा प्यारे एक हो तुम एक हो तुम्हें हो अल्लाह तुम्हें हो ईशा एक हो तुम एक हो सृष्टिकर्ता ईशा प्यारे एक हो तुम एक हो तुम्हें हो अल्लाह तुम्हें हो ईशा राम कृष्ण हो तुम्हें सृष्टिकर्ता ईशा प्यारे एक हो तुम एक हो तुम्हें हो अल्लाह तुम्हें हो ईशा राम कृष्ण हो तुम्हें हो शंकर तुम्हें हो विष्णु राम कृष्ण हो तुम्हें वेद ने जो तुमको पाया बाइबलों ने तुमको गाया कुरान में भी तुम्हारी छाया एक हो तुम एक हो तुम एक हो सृष्टिकर्ता ईशा प्यारे एक हो तुम एक हो मंदिरों में तुमको देखा मस्जिदों में तुमको देखा गिरजों में भी तुमको देखा एक हो तुम एक हो तुम एक हो सृष्टिकर्ता ईशा प्यारे एक हो तुम एक हो रूप रख कर भी अनेकों एक हो तुम एक हो.
Thank you. Please be seated. I request our Principal, Dr. Jagadish V, Kamath, to formally welcome the gathering and introduce the dignitaries.
dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here for a orientation program for NSS Volunteer here, which is initiated by the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences and in collaboration with UNICEF. And there are about 40 colleges who were involved in this activity. One of the institute is ours. So out of 40 colleges, only our institute was selected among the pharmacy colleges for conducting this particular program. And this program, it is initiated by UNICEF and Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore, to bring awareness about the health and nutrition and to give training to the NSS volunteers so that the society will be benefited because of the NSS schemes. The different programs which comes under this awareness camps on malnutrition, we have to conduct many programs, awareness camps on malnutrition as well as immunization. So we have to conduct rallies both in the urban places as well as in the rural places. We have to conduct slogan competitions, then poster competitions, quiz competitions for the kids. So overall here, the main motto of this program is to bring awareness to the society regarding the nutrition, immunization, importance of nutrition, immunizations in the health. Our college, it is NSS unit of our college, it is very active. We have about more than 100 registered NSS volunteers, and we have conducted many programs, and we have uploaded in the NSS portal of the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. By looking at our activeness, our college has been selected by the Rajiv Gandhi University. So every year we conduct blood donation camps. This year also, after the COVID, we have conducted blood donation camp. More than about 100 donors, they have donated the blood. We had a blood donation camp in collaboration with the KMC Mangalore. Last year we conducted a program in collaboration with the NFI Medical College, and recently in collaboration with the Father Muller's Hospital Nursing Department, we had a CPR training program for NSS volunteers also. As usual, every year we will be having Vanamotsava, and recently we conducted Poshan Pakwada program. So, wherein which awareness was given regarding the anemia, then rainwater harvesting. So, these type of awareness programs we conducted in the Karambar village in association with the Maravur Mandal Panchayat. So, as a whole, under the stewardship of Mr. Pramod, who is the program coordinator for NSS activities, along with his team, they are conducting many programs which will be useful for the society. So, on this occasion, we have three eminent speakers. Dr. Satish Chandra, he is the surveillance medical officer appointed by WHO, the country office for India. He is looking after the Mangalore Division. He is in this field for many years, more than 14 years. He is looking after the immunization programs, bringing awareness to the public in collaboration with other societies. So we have invited him to speak on immunization. He has accepted our invitation, and he has come here. He has spared his valuable time. I cordially welcome you, sir, for this program. Savitha Gatty, every one of us know her very well. She is the Deputy Chief Medical Officer of Primary Health Center, Bondel, Mangalore. For vaccination program twice, we conducted camp along with the PSC Bondel for the COVID. So she has come here by accepting our invitation. She will be talking about the nutrition, importance of nutrition in the society, the public. We are very much thankful for her for accepting our invitation. I cordially invite her to this program, madam. Mr. Hemacharya is the director of Daijiworld Media. Most of you will be knowing him. He will be in the TV channel Daijiworld, and he was the editor of Daijiworld News magazine. Temporarily it is stopped, but many years he was the editor-in-chief. Now he is the director of Daijiworld Media. He is a social activist. He is serving the society in many ways. His complete biodata, our teachers, they will be reading after a short while. So he has also spent his valuable time here, and he has come here to address we people. I thank him here for accepting our invitation, and I cordially invite him for this program. I welcome NSS Program Coordinator, Mr. Pramod, Baiju, Reham, Savitha, Shenaz, and all other staff members who are actively involved here. I welcome the student NSS volunteers, both teaching and non-teaching staff members. The inspiration of these eminent speakers, definitely it will be helpful to do better things in the society through our NSS volunteers. Thank you.
There is a Buddhist saying, if you light a lamp for someone, it will also brighten your own path. A lighted lamp does not speak, it introduces itself through its light. So by lighting the lamp, let all of us pray for our future. I request all the dignitaries on the stage to please step forward to begin the lamp lighting ceremony and symbolically inaugurate this program. Please always. I request our principal, Dr. Jagadish V, to present a bouquet to Dr. Satish Chandra. I request Mr. Kumar to present a bouquet to Dr. Savitha. I like to request Mr. Baiju Mathews to present a bouquet to Mr. Hemacharya. I request our principal to kindly escort the dignitaries of the dais. Starting with the guest lecture shortly. a member for National Covid Vaccine Cell at the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare.
A very prestigious institute. And thanks to Principal Sir, and special thanks to Mr. Pramod for inviting me here for this gathering. So first of all, I'd like to ask one question. Whether you know about vaccines, no? All of you know about vaccines? Raise your hands. Okay, very nice. I think you have taken vaccines also. Right? So whether the vaccines work or not. Whether the vaccines work or not. So that's my question. Whether the vaccine will have beneficial effect on us or not. Yes. Yes? Yes. Okay, right. So in this presentation, I'm going to show how our routine immunization program is going on in the country. Okay. So maybe just a brief update on the routine immunization program. So in my presentation of around 30 to 35 minutes, so I will be presenting about the universal immunization program, the introduction part. So we call in Kannada Sarvatrika Vaccine. Okay. Which are the diseases prevented by the vaccines under universal immunization program? I am not touching the COVID vaccination because that's a long seminar, almost all day. Actually, I was involved in the ministry to develop the operational guidelines for the COVID vaccination introduction. So it's a very day-long seminar we can have, but I'm not touching on the COVID vaccination. I'm just touching on the vaccines that are given to the pregnant women and children. Okay, the children. And what is the national immunization schedule and how is it implemented in our area? Let us take in our area. Your college belongs to PHC1 Bondel area. How the national immunization program or universal immunization program is implemented in this area, and what is the opportunity for the NSS, right? This is very, very important to increase the vaccination coverage and increase the demand for immunization and reduce the vaccine hesitancy. In fact, in our area, actually, in Dakshin Kannada, we are all well educated. There is no vaccine hesitancy or vaccine refusal. But there are some pockets which are the migrants coming from outside, they do have the vaccine hesitancy. Okay, so how we are going to tackle it? Okay, so these are my presentation outline. So next, so if you take the Universal Immunization History, Universal Immunization Program of India, so it is one of the largest public health program among all the programs in India. So immunization is one of the largest public health programs. Sir was telling, Mr. Hemacharya sir was telling, so immunization has got vast beneficial effect in the morning when we were discussing. So definitely, it is one of the largest public health programs, and annually almost 2.7 crore newborns are targeted and 2.9 crore pregnant women are targeted in India. This is the biggest number in the world. The country with the biggest cohort. So these many children and pregnant women are vaccinated very safely. Very safely. That is one very important thing. Okay? And then, so how many vaccines we have got, and how many diseases are prevented from these vaccines? So this is very important. As a person, as a citizen of India, we need to know about the vaccines. Okay, right? So we call it as vaccine-preventable diseases. There are 10 diseases and plus 2 diseases to the pediatric as well as adults. So this is the roadmap of vaccine introduction in India. Just as briefly telling how it started in 1985. It started with the vaccines against the 6 vaccine-preventable diseases: measles, andre gadara, okay, DPT, diphtheria or cholera, pertussis, and tetanus. Tuberculosis, that is BCG vaccine, and polio. These are the 6 vaccine-preventable diseases. Vaccines against 6 vaccine-preventable diseases. So after that, gradually hepatitis B was introduced, and Japanese encephalitis vaccine was introduced. Pentavalent vaccine was introduced, and gradually the new vaccines that are available in the private sector is introduced in the government sector also. So now we are having the rotavirus vaccine, which is very costly, right? Which is given free of cost in the government sector, and pneumococcal vaccine, that is PCV pneumococcal vaccine, that is also a very costly vaccine that is available in the Universal Immunization Program. So by introducing pneumococcal vaccine, almost all the vaccines are introduced in the government sector now currently. Whatever the vaccines that are given in the private sector, almost all the vaccines are given in the government sector. Okay, so there are total 12 diseases which are prevented. So what are the currently available vaccines in the UIP and the diseases prevented? So you all know BCG is one vaccine. I'll tell when it is given. Bacillus calmette guaiacum is one vaccine that prevents childhood tuberculosis and complications due to tuberculosis. In future also, if the child at birth, if he receives BCG everybody would have received now. So that will prevent against the childhood tuberculosis, as well as in future the complications arising from the tuberculosis. So I'm telling complications. So that's what we were discussing in the morning. So by taking vaccine, you may get the disease, you may be positive, but the purpose of giving vaccine is to reduce the complications and mortality, death due to that particular disease. Okay, so that's why vaccines are very beneficial. Even the COVID vaccine. So I have taken COVID vaccine, right? So I have completed my COVID vaccine. So 4 months back I had COVID positive. I was COVID positive. Positivity will be there, but I will not develop severity. I will not go for severe complications, right? So vaccines will prevent the complications as well as mortality, deaths. It will prevent the deaths. So that's the main purpose you have to understand. As a person, as an NSS volunteer, you need to understand that. You need to inculcate the same awareness to the public, because they are under the impression that so vaccine hackskodre and get Thailand parala positivity parala. So you need to tell them that you will not get the complications and the mortality associated with the vaccine. Okay. Next is we have got one more disease called poliomyelitis. Very dreaded disease, widely spreading if it is infected. So for that we have got oral polio vaccine and both inactivated polio vaccine. We give it orally, and this one we give it in the form of injectable intradermal. Next is hepatitis B infection. So haldi kamale and hepatitis. So that is a disease which is prevented by hepatitis B vaccine. Pentavalent vaccine. Penta means 5. So this vaccine has got the component which prevents 5 diseases: diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, hepatitis B, H influenza B, related diseases. Okay, so these are the 5 diseases that are prevented by pentavalent vaccine. Then rotavirus vaccine. So commonly the infants will have the diarrhea. So especially after 6 months, once we give the breastfeeding till 6 months, once the weaning food starts, so the child will have difficulty in adjusting to that weaning foods. The child will have the infection. So the most common infection is the rotavirus infection. So to prevent that, and diarrhea, the mortality due to diarrhea is very common. We had usually previously a lot of children, especially infant mortality, used to happen because of diarrhea. So rotavirus vaccine prevents this diarrhea due to rotavirus. So that's how. So the diarrhea is prevented, and we can save that particular child. And the recently added vaccine is the pneumococcal vaccine. The pneumonia, it prevents bacterial streptococcal pneumonia that is commonly associated in the infant pediatric. Okay. Then measles and rubella vaccine, measles and rubella disease, Japanese encephalitis. So Japanese encephalitis we don't find in our area. So it is in Davangere, Ballari, and all those areas. Okay. So these are the diseases which are prevented by this these vaccines. Can anybody identify what disease is it? Simple, no? So are we seeing these type of polio cases now? Because I have worked from 2008, 2009, we had a huge number of cases in UP and Bihar. I was there posted. So a lot of cases of this kind. Okay. So we are now not seeing this kind of cases. Next, what is this? There are rashes. You cannot see the rashes. Rashes over the body and redness of the eyes. Okay, watering. What is this? Measles. Measles. Actually, measles is also one of the dreaded disease. Okay, measles is also one of the dreaded disease, and rubella also will manifest as the same fever and rash, and especially rubella virus infection in the community where the pregnant woman is living is very, very dangerous. Right? Rubella, measles and rubella. We have 2 vaccines, one vaccine for 2 diseases, measles and rubella. Rubella infection, if it is there in the family and the family has got a pregnant woman, so definitely the infection transmission to that pregnant woman and the deteriorating factors for that pregnant woman is very, very important. So that's why it is very, very important to detect, to eliminate these kind of diseases. See, complications of measles, see, all these are complications. Scarring causing blindness, encephalitis, pneumonia, diarrhea. Okay, these are all the complications of measles. Okay, so one more disease. What is this? You have the patch. What is this? So just for your interaction, I am just asking. This is a case of diphtheria. Mental white patch there. We have lost so many children. Almost, if a child has got diphtheria, so almost 100 children have got diphtheria, almost 80 children will die. We cannot say. Only solution to this is vaccination. So after vaccination, we are not seeing this kind of diphtheria cases. Okay. So when I was in Chhattisgarh, in the medical college, we used to see a lot of cases, lot of deaths, where the vaccination coverage was very, very less. Okay, now after very repeated thirst of the immunization coverage, so we are not seeing this kind of disease. Okay. So another is this one. This is also one of the dreaded disease, Tetanus. It's like a bent like a bow. Tetanus. Okay, tetanus. We cannot save this kind of babies. No treatment at all for all these diseases. But only solution is prevention. Prevention in the form of vaccines. Okay, so that's why it is very, very important. Okay, so these are all diseases I am showing just to show how intense the diseases were previously before the vaccine introduction, and after the vaccine introduction, there is a drastic reduction in the disease. I'll show that. So one of the dreaded disease that was there was smallpox. Sir might be knowing. So I think during his time, a lot of cases were there. Very dreaded disease. Okay, and then now we are now free of polio. In India, entire India, since 2011, we don't have polio cases. Not even a single case of newly infected polio case. That's a marvelous achievement. It's all because of the vaccination. Okay, and then next is maternal and neonatal tetanus. I showed the picture now. That's also a very dreaded disease that is associated with the home delivery, with unethical cutting of the cord, umbilical cord of the baby with a non-sterilized equipment. Okay, so all these diseases now we are all in the eradication or elimination phase. If you look at the, I asked the question now whether the vaccines work or not. So for any refusal family, suppose if you as an NSS volunteer or as an educated person, if you want to convince a hesitant family or a refusal family, so you can use this slide. Right? How the vaccines have worked and reduced the vaccine-preventable diseases. If you look at each disease, smallpox, before vaccine introduction, before 1975, almost we used to have almost 23,000 cases here, almost 23,000 cases per year. Lot of cases, but in 1977 it is eradicated. Almost the disease burden, decrease the disease burden, it is 100%. Similarly, for polio, it is 100% now. Tetanus, almost 95%. We are now getting 1 or 2 cases, that's true, that especially in Bihar states. Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, okay. And diphtheria, almost it was in almost 40,000 cases in 90 before the vaccine introduction, 1980. Now in 2012, almost 94% reduction. We are not seeing any diphtheria cases. Similarly, pertussis 86% reduction, measles and rubella 94%, right? 84% reduction. Still, we are getting reduced cases. Okay, so this is how after the introduction of the vaccine, so we have got the reduction in the vaccine-preventable diseases. So this is one of the best slides you can use to convince the parents who are refusing to the vaccine. Okay, but we don't see in our area commonly. Okay, so this you can utilize as a advocacy. Right. So now coming to the immunization schedule. So I'm just telling what are the vaccines that are given during the pregnancy. Once the woman is diagnosed as having pregnant, so first we will give the TB vaccine. See, capital T means T stands for tetanus. Vaccine is against the maternal or neonatal tetanus. It prevents both maternal and neonatal tetanus. D means diphtheria. Small d, TD. So it prevents both tetanus and diphtheria. Early in the pregnancy, we are giving intramuscularly upper arm. And 4 weeks later, we are giving TD second dose. So 2 doses for the first time pregnant lady. Once the second time pregnant lady, if she becomes pregnant within 3 years of first pregnancy, first delivery, so only 1 booster dose is given. So if she becomes pregnant after 3 years, so we'll repeat the doses. So that's the pregnant woman schedule. Okay, you need to allow these things schedule, right? And then newborn, for the newborns at birth, So immediately after birth, we are going to give hepatitis B birth dose, oral polio vaccine 0 dose, and BCG. So hepatitis B, I told, OPV is for polio, preventing polio disease. BCG is for tuberculosis. Okay. So this is how we give the vaccine, right? Within 24 hours and within 50 days and immediately after. So this is at birth, immediately after birth. So these vaccines are kept in the labor room. Within the labor room, so after the delivery, these vaccines are given in the government sector. Okay, and even in the private sector and bigger institutes. Next, coming to the immunization schedule for infants. Infants, I mean within 1 year. Within 1 year. Right? So these are the different vaccines that are given. OPV, rotavirus vaccine, inactivated polio vaccine, pneumococcal vaccine, pentavalent vaccine, and MR first dose and J first dose. So 6th week, 10th week, and 14th week. So these are 2 drops of oral polio vaccine. Rotavirus vaccine also 6th week, 10th week, and 14th week. And then tell very shortly how you can remember in the next subsequent slides. Okay. Just you have to know about these vaccines at what duration it is given. PCV 6th week, 14th week, and 9 months. Pentavalent 6th week, 10th week, and 14th week. MR vaccine 9 completed months. J first dose 9 completed. Okay. So some of the vaccines are given intradermal. Charmadale. Now BCG. Charmadale ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. So that will be effective. And intradermal IPV. IPV also we give intradermally. Okay. So next oral polio vaccine ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ. Rota vaccine ಮತ್ತೆ vitamin A. Vitamin A ಕೂಡ oral ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ. So ನಂತರ we will give intramuscular all those vaccines. BPT, Penta, BCG, hepatitis. All these vaccines are given intramuscular. Okay. So they also now recently and subcutaneous measles and rubella vaccine. So these are the different routes of administration of the vaccine. So this is the smile of a baby, but we will not see the same similar smiles in the session side. Okay, but the smile is a wonderful smile. No? So we give the baby in this order the vaccination: 6th week, 10th week, 14th week, and 9 months. So all this first we give oral, then subsequently injectable vaccines. So this is how we give. And for the children, that is those above 1 year, 16 to 24 months, that is 1.5 years, we give DPT booster, MR booster, second dose, and OPV booster, J booster. J we don't have in our area, and vitamin A, and 5 to 6 years, that is first standard, and PD 10 years and 60 years. So just to simply remember this, so this is very simple. For the pregnant woman, at birth, 6th week, 10th week, 14th week, 9 completed months, 16 to 24 months, that is 1.5 years, 5 to 6 years, 10 years, and 60 years. So this is how we give the vaccines in order. Okay. So to simply easy to remember, 5 साल 7 बार. 5 साल 7 बार. Once the child completes 5 years, the child should visit 7 times for the vaccination. This 7 represents the 7 colors of the rainbow. Right? Rainbow has got 7 colors. So if the child visits 7 times for the vaccination session and receives all the 2 doses, the child's life will be colorful like a rainbow. Okay? So you can remember 7 colors. Right? So what are these 7 visits? Katalabari, Uttida, 9 completed months, 1.5 years, and 5 years. So this is how you can simply easy to remember, because the earlier slides were a little bit complicated. So simple to remember. 5 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 7 ಬಾರಿ 5 ಸಾಲ 7 ಬಾರ್. Okay. So 7 you remember it as a rainbow colors. Right. So next, this is about the immunization schedule. Any doubt about this? Any question about immunization schedule? No questions. Okay. We'll go on to the next. How the vaccines are maintained or stored. Okay, because we need to for the benefit of the beneficiaries. So the potent vaccines have to be given. So this is how we do call as cold chain. Cold chain. So from the manufacturer, so the vaccines will be transported at the appropriate temperature only, +2 +80 centigrade, to the primary store, and then to the in the refrigerator, to the bank, to the state store, insulated bank, to the district vaccine store. We have got the district vaccine store here in Mangalore. So in the insulated bank, +2 to 80 centigrade, it will be shifted to primary health center. So the PHC also has got the ILR points. So in the ILR, all the vaccines are stored in the PHC. From the PHC to the sub-center where the vaccines are given, so it will be carried in the vaccine carrier, right? So in the sub-center, the pregnant women and children beneficiaries will come, and through proper cold chain only the vaccines are given. See, if there is a breach somewhere in between, they are not going to accept. Okay, sir. Insulated bag means actually ILR means ice-like refrigerator. Actually, it maintains a temperature of +2 to +8 degrees. Okay, +2 to +8 degrees. See, ordinarily we cannot keep all the vaccines outside. It's very, very costly. One for a child, suppose I'm not contemplating, if a child goes to the private sector for complete vaccination, the package will be around 35,000 to 40,000 per week. Right? For all these vaccines that are given. Okay. So, but nowadays, Government of India has introduced all these vaccines, right? In the US organization. Okay. And that too, the quality is maintained. We are there to check this quality. And there are some supervisors who are there to check this quality of the cold chain. And these are the equipments, the vaccine storage equipments, that is WIC vacuum coolers and isolated refrigerators, storage, ILRs, and vaccine carriers. Okay, and this is how you can see our modern PHC also. We have the isolated refrigerator and deep freezer for preparing the ice packs. Okay, so deep freezer is it maintains a temperature of -15 to -25 degrees. See, I am telling all these things because people will not know about all these things. How the government sector meticulously does the Routine Immunization program. Okay, so this is how actually it's very, very important to educate the people that this is how the vaccines are stored, meticulously monitored, and given. Okay, right. So this is the isolated refrigerator, and there will be a proper temperature recording also daily, twice daily. By the cold chain, and a separate designated person will maintain the cold chain of this ILR and deep freezer. So there is a separate training for them also. For the transportation, this is the insulated van vehicle that is available in the district that will transport the hot vaccines. In the cold box also, the vaccines are transported to the session site in the vaccine carrier. Okay, so this is how the vaccines are transported. There are some vaccines that are heat sensitive. Heat sensitive. So I told about the pentavalent hepatitis B, BCG, pneumococcal vaccine. All these are heat sensitive, but the most heat sensitive vaccines are BCG, OPV, and rotavirus vaccine. So if you, I have not got the vial because it's very difficult for me to carry at the room temperature. If you look at the vial color of the BCG and measles and rubella vaccine, so they have put the sunglasses. Okay, in the book. Sunglasses. That is, it is in the amber color bottle. Most heat sensitive vaccine. Okay, and also I later come to that. Some of the vaccines are freeze sensitive. So the temperature that is to be maintained is +2 to +8 degree only. If it crosses +8 degree, that's also not there. Because some of the heat sensitive vaccines are damaged. If the temperature is below +2 degree also, some of the vaccines will be damaged. So that's why this meticulous monitoring of the temperature is very important. And the light sensitive vaccines, I told you, Some of the vaccine we wear when we go outside to the sunlight, we wear sunglasses. No? Similarly, BCG, measles, rubella vaccine and vitamin A bottles will be worn at sunglasses, or it will be in the amber one bottle, because these are highly light sensitive vaccines. Okay, so this is how the quality check is maintained for the vaccination. One more addition to this is, suppose if at all the vaccines are kept outside in the room temperature for longer duration, there is a monitor called vaccine vial monitor. On the vial, on each vial, it is a very costly entity that is there in all the vials of vaccines that are supplied from the Universal Immunization Program. So the color actually, if you look at the vaccine vial, so if this is the vaccine vial, you can see this VVM here. Okay, sometimes on the top of cap of the BCG vaccine. Okay, so if the color, so this is the color, the circle is sky blue color, center will be the square, that is the white color. This is the control color, outside color is the control color, center is the test color. If the vaccine is exposed to more temperature, gradually the center color changes its color, gradually it becomes like this. So if it is like this, if the center square is lighter than the outer circle, we can use the vaccine. If it is both are matching, or if it is darker than that, we cannot use. We will discard it. We cannot use this. Right? So this is how the temperature checks are done at the alveolar vaccines. And vaccine handling process is a very meticulous process of vaccine handling. I am not going into that. So date and time of vaccine, everything will be handled very meticulously. And especially, actually, the government supplied vaccines are given in a specially designed syringes, what we call as auto-dissolving syringes. Have you seen that? In COVID vaccination time, a syringe, once they insert that into intramuscularly, that cannot be reused. It is auto-dissolving. So that gets locked. We can actually reuse that syringes. Okay, so that is a unique of this Urbanization program. So this is how the vaccines are kept in the session site. Some vaccines are kept on the ice pack, on the tray, because some are heat stable vaccines. Okay, so injection safety. So they do take the injection safety measures by proper the session site layout. So this is how the session site layout is planned, with vaccine carrier and all the waste boxes, the seating arrangements, the sterile equipments, the hub cutters. Hub cutters immediately after the injection, they cut the needle. So they will not keep the needle like that, because needle prick injuries are very dangerous. You know, hepatitis B, HIV, so many diseases are transmitted. Okay, so this is how they position the baby. They all are trained, all vaccinators are trained to position the baby by giving the vaccination. Okay, so this is how they do. And I'll tell you now how this is saying. Once they fill up and they load the vaccine, once they inject the vaccine, so the syringe gets locked. We cannot reuse that syringe. Okay, so that's the significance of auto-dissolving syringe. So this is how the protection is done, and there is no recapping of the needle, and the waste bags are maintained properly. Okay, there is a monitoring mechanism for that. The hub cutters that are used, So this is how actually the quality of the vaccines that are given in the Universal Immunization Program. So now the matter is improving the coverage. So how, as a NSS volunteer, how I can contribute myself to improving the vaccination coverage. So this is very important. So for that, we have to understand the concept of two terminology, left out and drop out. Left out is one child or pregnant woman who have not turned to the vaccination at all. Lifetime they have not received any vaccine. Okay, so those are the left outs. Drop out is one who has received the first dose vaccine, and after that he has not come to the vaccination session. Something has happened. So all these we need to tackle. How we are going to tackle? To tackle this, as a volunteer, I need to know some of these behavior change cycle. See, I am a very refusal father. I don't want my child to be vaccinated. So how you are going to change my behavior and give the awareness so that I should bring my child to the vaccination session? That's very important. The first thing is you will inform me. So these are very, very important steps. You will not never not frequently. It's like very, very important slide. So inform about the benefit of the vaccines. So first is information, giving information, right? Then persuade. After persuading, what they will do, they will contemplate, recognize the need for vaccination, need for immunization. Persuade, repeated persuasion. They may be informed, but with repeated persuasion, they will not come. Then encourage. So here, intention, think about accessing the immunization services in the next month. So it will, the nearest session site is there. So you can bring the child to nearest session site. It will be safe, and the other child also has to negotiate trial access immunization services for the first time. So with the negotiation, has come to you for the first time. After that, retention is very important. That is, discuss the benefits of the vaccination. Once you have given the vaccine, you need to discuss what vaccine was given, what diseases it prevent. Okay, so you need to communicate very well about this one and maintenance. That is the support system and trace. So with this, actually, the definitely the behavior. So this slide applies to all the programs, even to take the other programs also. And mass media, sir, is here. Mass media has played a significant role, very significant role, and thanks to the persons like the sir who are propagating so many awareness camps. So and with media and IPC, right, and interpersonal communications, we will work very, very well. Okay. Opportunities for the NSS, awareness generation to improve vaccination coverage, address vaccine hesitancy, how I told, and strengthen immunization coverage in migratory slums. Especially, we need your support, especially in the migratory slums, not in the posh areas. So maybe, sir, from your end, maybe you can adopt some of the slums in the Bondel area or nearby, not rural area, nearby areas. There are a lot of construction sites. People are coming from outside, North India, North Karnataka. They are not aware about the vaccination. Maybe you can conduct the camps like this, and you can discuss the details. And also, some of the NSS volunteers can monitor the immunization coverage. Okay, so this is how they can do. In summary, actually, vaccines work very well, as evident in the slides I showed. Generating awareness to the public is very, very important. Okay, very, very important, and the opportunity for the NSS to strengthen the routine immunization is a very, very good opportunity, and it's a noble cause. Together, I think we can eradicate all the vaccine-preventable diseases. How it is done, right? So, with this, I think I thank all the participants for active listening. Thank you, sir, for inviting me. Special thanks to Mr. Pramod. Now, any questions?
Presentations. I have only one question. What is painless vaccine? Actually, in private sectors, if you go, they charge huge amount for one dose. They charge around 7,500 rupees for the child, and they say it's painless. And the child, will not get any pain, and they don't, they will not cry during their lifetime. Is it different from this vaccine?
So, very good question, and I think Sir has pointed out very well that in the private sector, the painless injections. See, actually, one of the vaccine, that is a pentavalent vaccine I was telling now. Pentavalent vaccine has got two types within the pentavalent vaccine. One is whole cell pertussis vaccine. So we have got 5 components. In that, pertussis is also one of the components. So in whole cell pertussis component one of pentavalent vaccine. So whole cell of the pertussis is incorporated, and that is the one which is causing more pain. But the beneficial effect of the baby is very good. The antibodies generated against that whole cell pertussis vaccine is more. But acellular pertussis component, I think you may be knowing on pharmacy people. There is whole cell pertussis, I explained. So acellular pertussis, there is no cellular thing component. So that will not have a reactogenic potential. So that will not cause pain. So that will also have immunity, but the more reactogenic will have the more immunity. So that's why after giving the pentavalent vaccine, madam will support me. Majority of the children will have fever and pain. That is a good indication. So you need to convince the parents that the child will get fever and please put paracetamol drops. Okay, pain will be there, excessive crying will be there. It is for the good, because see, even you all have received Covishield vaccine, right? Or which vaccine you have received? Covaxin. Okay. So you have definitely got pain. Definitely pain will be there. Some other complaints more pain. Some others. Let us take the migrant mother. She will not bother about the pain of the baby. But my wife or me, who are caring very well for my babies, even if he screams or cries, we will be bothered about the vaccination. So that's why it is very important, sir. Very good question. It is whole cell pertussis and acellular pertussis. It is one and the same, but little bit pain will be there. That we need to accept. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I would like to request our principal to kindly present a memento and certificate to Dr. Satish Chandra as a token of appreciation.
Not too much. Neither.
officer at Bondel PHC. She has participated in various health camps about immunization and nutrition and all assigned national programs. Since 2016 till date, the PH Bondel has won Kaya Kalpa Award every year. Thank you, ma'am, for always accepting our invitation and for your kind cooperation.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. So thank you so much for inviting me in this program so as to enlighten the student with vaccination as well as the most needed subject. My subject is malnutrition. So I think Dr. Satish Chandra has done a wonderful job. He has explained, he has covered everything in a short and sweet manner. And I would be taking something on malnutrition. So before we proceed, let us just know what is nutrition. Nutrition is a biochemical and a physiological process by which an organism uses food to support its life. We all need well-balanced diet. Most of us, we don't take well-balanced diet. First of all, let us know what is balanced diet. I'm sure you people, I don't know whether you people know it about balanced diet. Anyone of you? Anyone knows what is balanced diet? Okay. So a balanced diet is something wherein you have all the nutrients in sufficient quantities. So you need to have carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, fiber, water, all these things we need to have it in our diet, in our daily diet. Okay. So these days we are not finding it. We are here and there, you know, either we are excess with one or we are short of one. So the thing is, like, we need to have a well-balanced diet combined with regular physical activity to lead a healthy life. We either have food properly, but we don't exercise. Physical activity is coming down now because we sit on the chairs, we work for hours together, and because of the social media also, most of us, we sit down and we spend a lot of our time there. So that we have to reduce. We need to really increase our physical activity so as to maintain our health, or else we land up with problems in the health. Okay, so right nutrition is essential for all age groups. It starts right from the childhood, when the baby is even in the mother's womb. Make sure that the baby is there in the mother's womb, then the mother has to have enough amount of nutrition. She needs to have it. Okay, because the baby totally depends on the mother to get its nutrients. So we need to train the mother to have proper nutrition. Okay. What does the WHO define malnutrition as? The cellular imbalance between the supply of nutrients and the energy and the body's demand for them to ensure growth, maintenance, and the specific function. So we have to have everything to have a normal life. That is a healthy life. Okay, malnutrition is divided into two main groups. That is undernutrition, or it can be overnutrition. So mal means what? Mal, M-A-L. Most of us think it is only undernutrition. No, even if you have something in excess, it also malnutrition only. That is something abnormal. You have nutrients less, you will land up with undernutrition. If you land up with, you eat a lot of things, more than what is required for your body, you will land up with overnutrition, and that will also cause problems in our life. But these days we are finding, we are in good setup, a rich family or college students, we find overnutrition, right? Oh. So undernutrition will be manifesting as stunting, wasting, and underweight. But as overnutrition, it will be obesity. You're finding people with obese structure, fat more than what is expected. The main cause for that is fast foods, right? Fast foods is one thing which we all are tempted. When you see some fast foods, we are really tempted to go there. I think some of you all already have saliva in your mouth when I say that, right? Yeah, pizza, cheese, burger, all these things will make us so tempting. Even when you look at the shops there, the interiors are so tempting. It just invites us, right? Yeah. Whereas, you know, when you get some food wherein it's nutritious, they don't have to make so much interiors and all that to invite you there. No. So one thing is for certain, if you have fast foods regularly, on regular basis, definitely you will land up with problems. That is obesity. Obesity later in life will lead to other problems. That is non-communicable diseases like cardiac problems you may have. You will land up with diabetes, type 2, hypertension, then you can land up with stroke or cancers. So be very careful hereafter, at least be careful when you enter into a fast food this thing. Okay? Yeah. So what are the causes for malnutrition? Let us say health issues. Health issues, I'm just talking about malnutrition wherein, you know, the person is absorbing less nutrients here. It can be because of health issues like less absorption, maybe some GI problem he may have some anemia problem, some bleeding problem, or all these problems can lead a patient or a person into malnutrition. Okay, and next one is lack of knowledge about nutrition. This is the main agenda for you people why we are conducting this. Knowledge is very important. What you need to have, how much you're supposed to have, how do you have to shed out those extra calories. All these things are very much essential for your future. Okay? Frequent consumption of fast food. This is what I said. Okay, once in a while, fine, but don't get addicted to it. Okay? Yeah. Drug abuse and alcohol addiction. This will also have less absorption of nutritious food. He won't care, but later he will land with problems in his health and there will be less nutrients in its body, finally land up with problems. Okay? And the poverty. Person may not be in a position to afford a good food. He may be having less money wherein, you know, he cannot consume all the nutrients like, you know, carbohydrates, what is supposed to have, proteins is needed for a growing child, pregnancy, there is a pregnancy and the feeding mother will have extra calories for what they need for the future. All these things are very important. So these things may also not be possible when a person is having a low socioeconomic status. Who are at risk? Pregnant women. Why I'm stressing you on pregnant women is because of pregnant women, most of the times we find them like, you know, they don't take care of their health properly. A woman will just think like, okay, whatever I have, my food, okay, that's enough. No, she needs extra calories for her pregnancy, during her pregnancy as well as when she's feeding the baby, because the nutrients will be passed on to the baby. So that she has to take care. During her pregnancy, she has to visit her antenatal checkup. She has to come to a hospital every once in a month, wherein we do all the blood tests like hemoglobin. If she is anemic, then we'll have to give her some iron and folic acid. Then we'll have to give her some supplements, vitamins is needed. All these extra things she may not be aware of. And because if at all we just tend to, you know, ignore those problems, she will end up having stillbirth. A child may be dead in the womb itself. It may not be having proper growth, that is intrauterine growth retardation can be found. And then she can have severe bleeding during her delivery. And she may not be in a position to, you know, the development of the baby also depends on the amount of nutrients the baby gets from the mother. So if that is not sufficient, even after the birth, the child will not be growing properly as it is needed. So the child will land up with less immune complex. Then finally the child will have a lot of problems. Infections will be very common and we may lose the child. You may have infant death. The child development, overall development, even with the physical, the development of the intellectual capacity will not be that great. And after when it enters the school, it may not be in a position to grasp it. So these things are very important. We need to see that the child is growing because it is the necessity of the child. or else the child will have developmental delay. Okay. So chronic breastfeeding mothers also have got the same thing. Okay. So a breastfeeding mother also should be thought about how to feed the baby, when to feed the baby, how frequent she has to keep feeding the baby. All these things should be educated to the baby's mother so that she knows. And then she should know what is the spacing between the two children. She should not keep delivering the children like that, but one after the other, they should have some spacing. So spacing methods are also there in government sectors. We are doing it all free of cost. They don't have to shed a pile. Okay, even in a government hospital, they can come and they get all the tests done free of cost. So these things are very much essential for a mother, for a feeding mother, as well as even for children. And sir has already covered about immunization. Children are also getting, as well as the pregnant women are getting vaccination now set up free of cost. Then chronic illnesses. Chronic illnesses can be long-term diseases like diabetes, hypertension, any other diseases. Some chronic illnesses like that can affect, and they can have less immunity. Even HIV mothers we have tuberculosis mothers. So these people should have more immunity so that the mother will be okay as well as the child will be fine. Right. Then infants. Infants also same thing. Right time we have to immunize the kid and we have to take care of the infants properly. So I told you, like, infants are children who are less than 1 year. So these children should be taken care of. What they eat, how much they eat, how much they sleep, everything is necessary. If a mother has got 2-3 children, she won't be in a position to handle all those things. So better educate her about she having children with a good spacing, and then she undergoes sterilization, permanent sterilization. Okay. Then preschool children also, I told you, if at all the child doesn't have proper nutrition from the mother, finally the child will land up with infections. Okay. Adolescent girls. Why have I explained girls? Adolescents, all boys and girls are necessary. But many families, rural setup, still there are people wherein those people have that gender bias. That should be eradicated. That should be told like, no, all boys and girls are equal. It is not that girls should be taken for granted. What they do is, normally I see in my normal practice, if a male child is sick, they immediately get the child there to the hospital. But when the girl is sick, they take time. Why is it? Because they don't think it is necessary immediately. They try to give them some home remedies and all that they do, and finally they get when the child is overly sick. So you need to be careful when the child is sick. They have to immediately give, because the girl child especially, she will have to get a lot of nutrition. Her calorie level should be more because she will be menstruating, and after that the body structures will be changing. She will be developing as a mother. So these things should be taken care of once the girl achieves her puberty. And even there are children wherein they still use cloth during their menstrual cycle. Hygiene is not maintained. They land up with problems like infertility later, some reproductive organs problems, all these things. So what we do as a government, in a government sector, we reach to them. We reach into the schools, we educate them, we give them sanitary pads, we tell them how to use it, how to dispose it, and how often they have to change it. All these things have to be taught. Okay, and elderly. Why I was speaking about elderly is we should not forget about them. They are also very important in a family life. So elderly is like, these people have less immunity. They would already be suffering from some diseases like diabetes. They could be hypertensive, and they can be having some other problems like stroke. They can be having some absorption problems. They have, they have to depend on someone for their daily life. The medications they have to depend on, their, for everything. They have to be dependent on their family, the children. So they don't feel much comfortable asking for money. All these things are there in the setup. So when we talk to our patients, we come to know that they have to depend. So they try to manage with whatever they can do their best. And early detection and right time when they're treated, finally they will not land up with these problems. Okay, socially deprived communities, some tribals and all these people are still, they're not aware of what the government has set up for them. How can they avail those things? And you, as the NSS, when you go to the field, you can tell them what is available. They can avail it free of cost. Let them utilize it. We have our workers, like we have our ASHA workers, we have our Anganwadi teachers, we have our PHCOs. These people go house to house, they reach to them, and then they see what is required. They tell them when it is a child, what they're supposed to do, and for this one old age or about 30 years, we detect if it is diabetic or there are cardiac problems. All these things we detect, okay, in the field. And if there is something like that, they get the patient there to the hospital. Early detection is the much needed thing now, because we can cure the person with less time, within a less period of time. Natural calamities, like now you can see in Ukraine and all that, what's happening, war, all these things, cyclones and all that stuff will totally destroy that country. So that can also affect the country itself. Then rapid urbanization. Many people are moving from villages to the urban area. They don't know what is there. Many a times we have a lot of people who have come from other North Karnataka, North India and all this. They're not aware of where is the hospital and what you can get from them. No, they'll just come, they'll just live here, and whatever it is available, they'll eat, they will use, they will finish it off. But they don't know what care they have to take, how much they have to be consistently, having, checkups and all that. No. Yesterday also I had a lady wherein, she has not come to the hospital. She's 7 months pregnant. So how can we help her? She is from North Karnataka. She has recently come. So these things, when we see that, so these things will really, we feel very bad because she has not taken anything. She is saying, I was absolutely fine. So there is no necessity, but she is not aware that she has 3 kids. This is the 4th one. But at the same time, she is not aware what she has to take. Iron is needed, folic acid is needed. She needs some this iodine, she needs calcium, all these vitamins, minerals, nothing is given all this time. She has not taken a TT. Finally, they landed here. Okay. Then it is our duty. It is our duty to help them out. So what is the effect of malnutrition in children? As I said already, there will be stunting, wasting, underweight and overweight. All these things will have, stunting, wasting, underweight and all that. They will have more infections. They are more prone for infections. So these children should be taken care of. And overweight, why I have put this? It's because they land up in future, they will come up with non-communicable diseases. As I already said, it could be diabetes, hypertension, cardiac problems, it can be stroke, or it can be cancers. So this is very much necessary, and even we can see protein energy malnutrition in this children. If they're not given proper amount of calories or proteins, whatever is required for the growth of the child, finally the child will land up with protein energy malnutrition. Effect of malnutrition in adolescent girls. As I already told you, adolescent girls, they have delayed growth. This girl will be getting ready for her motherhood. So it is not the time, it is the right time wherein we have to approach the child, and we don't have to wait till she gets pregnant. No, this is the right time wherein you can teach her about nutrition. Okay, then there will be retarded intellectual development. She may not be that good in school. The grasping power she may not have because of her nutrition deficiencies. Then she may have iodine deficiency, which will lead to goiter. Then there will be increased risk of infection. She may land up with a lot of problems. And it can be anemia because of less hemoglobin. Anemia can also be because of worm infestation. Make sure, because our country is a developing country, and then we have a lot of worm infestation. If you feed her with any amount of food, any iron, any supplement and all that. If she's still not gaining weight, if she's still complaining of problems, then see if it is worm infestation. So for worm infestation, our government has made a good setup wherein we give deworming is done for the whole family once in 6 months. We educate the parents, we educate the children. It is done at school level and Anganwadi levels also. Okay. There will be no proper bone development, which is very much essential for her pregnancy and delivery time. Okay. Increased risk of adverse reproductive outcomes. I told you, as a girl, she need to know about sanitation and all that stuff. She has to be very careful, or else she will land up with other uterine problems. What is the effect of malnutrition in pregnancy? As I already told you, anemia. Anemia can once again will be less hemoglobin count, and that should be tackled by giving iron and folic acid at the right time. Even if a lady, when she is married, what we do is we will go visit her. We ask when she is planning to have a child. Even before she starts, 3 months before that, we can give her folic acid, so that the child will not land up with congenital anomalies. That is the right way. We should have ways of planning. Okay, this is what we help the mother to do. And stillbirth, I told you, in pregnancy, because of anemic conditions or other health conditions, she may land up with the child being born without any life. So that is called stillbirth. Preterm deliveries. So she would not have completed her 9 months before her gestational age. She will deliver. So what will be the outcome? The child will be too small. The child will have a lot of complications during after birth, like because the immunity will be less. Low birth weight babies, they will have less immunity, so they will have a lot of infections. High risk of infection. She may have a lot of infections, like tuberculosis, because of her immunity power. She can have other problems also during her postnatal delivery. And brain damage of the child. Okay, effects of malnutrition in elderly. As I already said, elderly have to depend on someone, so they won't be comfortable asking for money. So what they land up with? Non-communicable diseases, which is not tackled properly. We, as in a government sector, we are giving them free of cost treatment, as well as all the checkups are done. Okay, but they should be educated for that. They need someone's help for that. Even now, Government of India has brought up community health officers, wherein a BSc nursing person will be in that particular area, wherein they can go. They need not come to our hospital. They can just avail all the benefits from there itself, because there they go, they get their urine test, they get their BP checkups and all other things. Even the treatment is given at the community level free of cost. Osteoporosis, because of calcium deficiency and all that, and obesity, they can land up with osteoporosis. High risk of infection because of less immunity. How to reduce this? Okay, we need to have a good healthcare system, which we are already doing it. This is what we are doing it. Okay, routine immunization that is done every Thursday in our PHC level, primary health center level. Every Thursday it is there. Or else on Tuesdays we go to the field, we take our vaccines, we have people, we go and inject the vaccines in the area. Periodic deworming, as already said, albendazole is given for everyone. Then educating people about the right nutrition. So we should educate them what kind of nutrition is required, when it is required, how much is required. All these things have to be known by the mother, child, elderly, everyone for that matter. ANC care, she has to regularly visit our centers for her checkup, so that she will not get complications during her delivery as well as later. Early diagnosis and proper treatment of illnesses. Early diagnosis is very important. Prevention is better than cure. That is what we believe in, and this is what we've been doing. All the services for prevention. Okay. So promoting breastfeeding. Mother should be told how much, when she should start her breastfeeding. Many mothers do not know. They still have that thing in their mind, like, you give some honey, you give water. No. As soon as the child is born, within half an hour, the child will be put to the breast, so that it gets colostrum. Okay, so that it will have more immunity. So after that, 6 months exclusively breastfeeding is done. And after 6 months, we start weaning. Okay? And adequate food to children, pregnant and lactating mothers. We have Anganwadis. We have this one, wherein the children are fed with the nutrition style. It is from the government. It is clean and it will be fed to all the children below 5 years. And we also have food given free of cost for pregnant and lactating mothers. This should be told to the public. When you approach them, maybe some of them don't know, but they should get all these things because a balanced diet is given to them. Okay, take home message will be, if you want to flourish, you have to nourish, right? So I thank one and all for this patient hearing. I know that you will change your life. Please continue to help others with all your, with the group where, you can go and reach the public. Okay. And what you can do is even you can contribute something for these nutrition deficiencies wherein you can do something for the poor. I, as a doctor, I have told one Rotary thing. I just asked them, like, if you can do something for my people here. So they have agreed that at least 40 people will be given some nutritious things like, some tonics and all that stuff. So I think we can do that. We can adopt someone, we can adopt the village as a group, do something for them. Be careful. I mean, you talk to them, you educate them. They will also be happy about you people. I thank one and all.
I request Mr. Pramod Kumar to present a memento and certificate to Dr. Savitha as total of the case.
One thing I forgot is, like, when you find children with some problems like they could not gain weight and all that, we have NRC center, that is Nutritional Rehabilitation Center. We have it at Mangalore Hospital. It will be free of cost. A child will be sent to that NRC center maybe for a week or so along with the mother. Mother will be trained where, she will be told what she has to give, what kind of food she has to give and all that, and even she will be paid for that. Per day she will be getting 280 rupees because some mothers say, like, if at all we don't go to work, we'll be losing the money and all that stuff. So government is encouraging mothers to do that so that we come out, with a healthy nation. So all this, please make use of it and be aware, and please talk to your people when you come across. Thank you.
Let's add on something. Your government pays for them. The government paid for the mother for 15 days. Yeah, so
280 rupees is being paid for the mother.
Per day. So they get benefits. So they lose their job or something, they out of job. So to take care of that, the government pays them for it, because this was told to us, especially to tell to the people, because the fear of lose of their income, that's the most in this people. So whenever you meet such people, tell them that there is facility that we will take care of you and they will give the right nutrition and the baby will be fine. So that's the information that should go from us to the need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last speaker for this orientation program is Mr. Hemacharya. Born as Silver Hair of Mescarinus at Villa, a small village in Mangalore, now by his pen name Hemacharya. He graduated in Bachelor of Commerce from Mysore University in 1978. He has done his diploma in journalism and mass communication from Bondel University and trained in quality assurance and QM from TUV Vayan and American Business System Certified Chief Auditor from Lloyd's, UK. He has served as financial consultant and lecturer at Sophia College, Mumbai. He has also worked in finance, administration, and quality in India, Oman, and UAE for reputed organizations. Currently, he is the director of Daijiworld Media Private Limited. Sir has conducted more than 400 training sessions In root cause analysis and customer focus for employees in companies, he worked in Oman and Dubai. In India, he has conducted training sessions with the students of St. Aloysius College, St. Agnes College, Athena College of Nursing, Sisters of Charity, Sisters of Mercy, St. Agnes Postgraduate College of Counseling, etc. He has been invited as a regular resource person and Toastmaster in prominent social gatherings and programs held around Mangalore. He is the author of Ujjwal Prakashan, which has published books in COVID. He has also worked as a head doctor of Kannada Devi published from Bangalore as a reporter and had been on the editorial board of prominent COVID journals. He has also published various books, namely by Mathews NSS, and many more. He is a founder member of Baiju Mathews, a forum of COVID writers in the UAE, and served as its president for 2 terms. He has also founded Mandir, a theatre group in Dubai. Last but not the least, Mr. Hemacharya is the managing trustee of Ian Cares Foundation in memory of his son Ian, who passed away in 2017 following a car accident. The foundation takes care of rehabilitation of youth from drugs, alcohol, depression, and killing. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation.
Good afternoon. By the time I reached here, it is good afternoon. And I don't have slides to show you, but I have a small piece of paper. Most respectful Dr. Principal Kamath, Jagadish Kamath, Dr. Satish Chandra, he just left because he has to attend some important meeting. And we have with us Dr. Savitha Gatty. And Pramod, of course, and Baiju there, yes, Baiju. Pramod is the one who brought me here today. But for the sake, let me share with you some secret. Whenever I pass by this campus, very beautiful, very reputed campus, and I know the owner very well, a thought comes to my mind, always, I am telling from my heart, that I wish someone had called me inside to talk to the students. And there's a reason for that. I was teaching, my career I started with teaching as a lecturer in a prominent college in Bombay. Now it's Mumbai. Long back I started my career as a lecturer in Bombay. And there, these my students are in the women's college, and today also I can see more women here. And they wanted me to get ready with the concrete jungle. They were not very happy with the classes inside the 4 walls. And they used to tell me, sir, we'll go out. We'll go out somewhere. Okay, and then I used to ask them where to go. They said, maybe marketplace where there is noise, lot of smell. Maybe somewhere else in the jungle, under the tree. And there was one place called Haji Ali. I don't know how many of you know Haji Ali in Bombay, in Worli in Bombay. Haji Ali is in such a place, it's a dargah, inside the sea. You have to go inside the sea. Okay, and of course, I'm not talking about nutrition and whatever thing, but I'm talking about social issues. Haji Ali inside the sea, and there's total quietness. There's no one around. And these students want to hear my classes there. And those classes are very successful. And today I'm talking about NSS. And I think probably my students were quite aware of NSS. This activity takes you to the nature, to the environment. Not sitting inside, but taking out to the environment, to the nature, to do something. At least you people are very fortunate to have a great friend with you. Who is the friend? You have a very good friend with you, each one of you. Yeah? Yes, mobile you have. Yeah? We did not have this facility. We did not have this luxury those days. But we had other things like climbing trees, like swimming in the pond, like stealing fruits from the neighbor's compound. These were the activities we were in. Okay, and I am very happy about this because I'm not that I'm against the mobile. I have to. It's not that mobile is bad. Mobile is very good, provided you use it amicably, very nicely. I don't have to say about it anyway. We were very close to the nature, and I remember still we used to love nature a lot, lots. We used to go to the jungles, and I'm happy that after so many years, but rather I should say something about the NSS because that's the reason I'm here. Those days in 70s, NSS was not a clique. National Service Scheme, isn't it? People used to misunderstand it, saying that National Savings Scheme. That was very popular, very popular. People used to invest in savings schemes, not in service schemes. People are not aware. When I was in school, I was in NCC cadet 3 years. There was NSS also, but there were only 7 cadets there. 7 cadets. When I went to the college, there was NSS there, and there was a professor from Kerala. He is no more with us. Very prominent person, English teacher. And he was trying his best to enroll students for NSS. He wanted 30 cadets, and he got only something like 14 or 15 students. He was going around and asking, can you become a member? Can you join me? You know what? Students thought NSS means lifting someone's garbage. Yeah, this is what we felt. Even I felt that way. Maybe NSS means going to the village, going to the seashore and lifting some garbage. But let me tell you, my friends, today this garbage has become very important in life, our life at least. You can see in Mangalore, we are fortunate. At least we have found we have hired a person from Kerala to lift our garbage. Many places there is no one. Garbage just lying there. And I am very happy that our younger generation has taken up this initiative. People talk about nation building. How to build a nation? Is it building like a building? Constructing a building? Don't you think by being a cadet, yeah, NCC cadet or NSS cadet, you are actually contributing to the nation building, for national integrity. And for that reason, I think I should thank you for getting yourselves involved in this. It's not enough, my dear friends, studying from 9 to 5 or whatever timing you have. It is not enough. Like my students used to do, you have to get out. Get out after your classes. Get out and do something so that you can remember later on. It is not enough. 9 to 5 classes, they are also important, but not enough. You can also do more things in your life. Like I heard, I was going through the objectives. I don't want to go to the objectives because that is for you people, you have to get into it. I was looking into the objectives, but what I felt very important, after 1969, the year NSS was started, from 40,000 cadets, today we have got 4 million cadets in NSS. Can you put your hand together? It is not a deal instrument. This is not that something we can just ignore. From 40,069 to 4 million people, I mean, youngsters, youth like you, working for the society, working for the community, working for the, just now they mentioned about immunization and nutrition. You can do wonders if you like. If you don't like, that's a different case. No one can repair you. That's a different case. But if you like, possibly you can contribute in nation building and for the integration of our country. These figures actually I was surprised to look, and I heard the slogan of NSS. Anyone can guess or tell me what is the slogan of NSS? Yeah? Keep it in mind or write it down in your mobile. Not me, but you. It is not only me, but you also are involved. Okay, this is a slogan. And also, I don't want to get into the objectives that you look into the objectives yourself. But what I can say, beyond picking up garbage on the seashore, is beyond going to the trekking, in the mountain. That's very important. Believe me, it is not just going for the sake of it. Yeah, trekking and other activities like our principal in the morning, he explained what all things you people are doing here. Blood donation camps. Yeah, COVID. In fact, COVID has brought us to the real life. Through COVID, you have learned what is life. Okay, I don't think so. I have to explain to you. After COVID, after our nation in particular, I should say, I don't want to compare with others. Our nation has learned how to live a better and united life. You agree with me? Do you agree with me? That we have learned to live a united life because we have helped all our neighbors. I don't have to boast myself. Daijiworld contributed to keep 4,000 families intact during those days. They did not have food to eat. 4,000 families. We went personally because it was an advantage. Our vehicle has a board media, so no one can touch us. We could go to the families and give them food. And believe me, I must respect our people. I have to thank them because they used to bring food like in boats. We did not know from where the food comes. And our all offices were full with food stuff. We suspended our work and we full-heartedly, got into all these activities. Now, having come here, my dear friends, I should speak to you about a few things more. Yeah, as an NSS volunteers, you can contribute because I don't want to talk many things here because already you can see we have to thank our central government, in particular our Prime Minister, for making this our places clean. This awareness came recently. We were told to keep our environment clean, and especially to girls to have a toilet in the house. If there is no toilet in the house, it's a big crime. A girl can go to the court and ask for a toilet for her house. It's not a small achievement. And I think you should talk about it in your voluntary, in your social work activities. Whenever you go around, check with your friends. There will be many poor girls. Government is supporting in many ways. You want to build a toilet for the girls. Talk around. As NSS volunteers, it's your job to ask in your vicinity, any of your friend, ask her. She may not first say yes. It happens with us. Yeah, even if she does not have a toilet in her house, she may say, yeah, this we have three. Yeah, I have come across such cases. When you really go there, because my daughter is a social worker, She has done MSW and she works as a field officer. She goes see houses to see whether there is a toilet for the girls. She goes there to see whether they have a ration card. No, many people they do not have. They have no about it. It's very shameful. They do not know about the ration card. They do not know anything about. Forget about Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card they will ask only if the government facilities are available. Otherwise, there are so many things which we do not have, but we do not know about them. We should not be in such a critical situation, my dear friends. Mangalore is developing. Mangalore is a growing city. Mangalore is now, what is it? Smart city. Oh, yeah, I wanted this from you. Smart city. So let us be smart. Okay? But before concluding, I would like to share with you a small appeal, rather. You can join me. Because I have started a rehab in memory of my son who passed away. People thought I will run away because I lost my son and I lost my wife as well. But I'm still smiling. I have not run away. Because I think I can still do something for the people, for my community. Yeah? I can still contribute. Because I know in my day many people will contribute. If I go away, it is a wastage. That's the reason where I am born, in a small house, it was a mud house. I have renovated it with the help of my friends, my family members, and made a rehab detoxification center. What we are going to do is, those youth who are into drugs, drinks, and depression, these are the three evils that we face every day, whether you agree or not. Maybe there are friends whom you know who are in drugs, doing drugs, yeah, and drinking. Drinking is a common habit, and depression. And when two things happen, third, you end up in depression. So if you know anyone, you can inform us. I have started in a rehab called Sarva Dharma Sangama. It does not belong to any religion, any territory. It is open for all. And then more important, I want you as NSS volunteers to come over sometime, whenever possible. You can coordinate with Pramod. I have got a lot many things to do there. Okay. Like, for example, I have a water stream moving, just for one example. Water stream moving there, which is full of glass items, full of paper, full of whiskey bottles. I don't know who has thrown them. Yeah, full of many things. Possibly, you people as NSS students, NSS volunteers, can clean up this place. Yeah, I'm not becoming too much of selfish person, but since I am here with you, I thought maybe you can join in my struggle and in my voyage ahead, my passage ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to request Mr. Baiju Mathews to present the memento and certificate to Mr. Hemacharya. With this, we come to the end of our NSS Orientation Program. I would like to call upon Dr. Satish Chandra to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all the students and members of NSS unit of Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore. As we come to the end of today's orientation program for NSS batch 2022-2023, on behalf of National Service Scheme of Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore, I, Dr. Shahnaz Parveen, deems the honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Satish Chandra, Surveillance Medical Officer, WHO Country Office for India, for accepting our invitation and for being a part of this training program and sharing his valuable expertise. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to Mr. Hemacharya, Director Daijiworld Media, for taking time off his busy schedule to be a part of this program and for his words of encouragement. Further, I'm grateful to Dr. Savitha Gatty, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Primary Health Center, Bondel, for her participation in today's event and for her words of wisdom. I wish to record my sincere appreciation to Dr. Jagadish V, Kamath, Principal Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, for his support and encouragement while conducting this program. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated students and teachers. We are extremely thankful to Mr. Pramod Kumar, Mrs. Riha Tonse, Mrs. Smita Shetty, Mr. Baiju Mathews, NSS team Shree Devi College of Pharmacy, Mangalore, who have worked hard to ensure that this occasion become a memorable success. I owe gratitude to all the faculty members and non-teaching staff of Shree Devi College of Pharmacy for their support. Special thanks to the student volunteers for their contribution in conducting today's event. Last but not the least, I thank everyone for their cooperation, willingness to engage in this cause, and your active participation. Once again, thank you for all your attention.
Good afternoon, all. I thank all the students and non-teaching staff who have come over here, listen to wonderful talks by Mr. Hemacharya, Dr. Savitha, and Dr. Satish Chandra. I'd like to mention a few names who have been working with me. First of all, I'd like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Jagadish V, Kamath, for the continuous support that he has been giving me to conduct the events. And most importantly, the students, the backbone for any functions. Without students, I think we can't do anything. We can just put on things, but end thing comes from the students. As rightly said, you are the pillars for this particular organization. So your contribution will matter. Few names I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank Princy for the memento. I'd like to thank Manish for designing a wonderful certificate. For preparing the the invitation. The yesterday we had done. Moment we are ready for the things. That's the teamwork. I appreciate their contribution. And my team of NSS. I'd like to thank Dr. Lionel. To do the photography for us. Yeah. And I thank Sherwan for being patient over there so that we are live on YouTube. So you can see. So I'm thankful to all of them who have been sharing for the inauguration program. Thank you all for coming and being a part of this orientation program. Thank you, Mangalore. Thank you.